And all right, I'm going to. That would probably be a 5 or a 6. Did I say 5 or a 6?
I think it was 5. You did.
Okay, let's do a 6. Well, let's review a 5. Let's go with -5 x squared plus 11x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now this is a review of whatever day was last. What day was last? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Settle down, Pendleton. Pendleton, how has the day been to you?
Good.
Any good class? Anything interesting happening at Pendleton?
No.
Oh. Are you surprised?
No. It's pretty herdish up there. You know, cow herd is pretty. Everybody follows everybody, and everybody, you know, does what they're conditioned to do.
Who's singing?
Yeah, they laughed at you singing. So we get another week of Clemson free post on YouTube this week. So that's a good thing.
I think you're a secret Clemson fan, and you make a fake Facebook just to comment all this stuff.
Ask my kid. Ask my kids. But I support Clemson. I give to the foundation. I don't give to IPTAY because I don't think I have to have a status symbol on the back of my car.
Don't even get me started on that IPTAY. I hate them.
I give to the foundation because I hope that's going to scholarships.
IPTAY is the biggest scam in the state of South Carolina.
I would probably agree with you. Next to insurance and credit cards, I would agree with
It's
you.
more like I paid $10,000 a year.
It was, I paid $10.
Now it's just a status symbol to put on the back of your car just so that you know that you're in the in crowd.
People really close to the stadium, they're paying like several years.
It's a good representation of what happens when you have a union.
Yeah.
It's like a union. All they get is
I'm
money.
an IPTAY member, and I never got my sticker.
Oh, be quiet.
I really
All right.
am.
So, what do we factor out? We factor out a -5. And that means we're going to multiply over here by -5. That's going to give us x squared minus 11 x plus blank is equal to -2 plus 5 times blank. I'm going to take my Verde pen, and we're going to take 11 over 5, divide by 2 over 1, and square it, which is 11 over 5 multiplied by 1 over 2, which is equal to 11/10 squared, which is 121 over 100.
The 11 over 5 is a shortcut, right? Is that where you go?
What do you do when you factor? When you factor out that -5, what do you do?
Snap. Yeah, good point. Okay, I got you.
121 over 100. All right, finish it. I did the hard part for you. Because I know some of y'all would just sit there and stare at it, right?
I did that last class.
You did that last night?
Yep.
Sit there and stare at it. Throw your pencil down, make it pop on the notebook paper. Kick the dog. So that gives us shortcut number 2. Negative 5, x minus 11 tenths, quantity squared, is equal to, well, that 5 will take that 100 down to what? 20. So you change this to 40, negative 40 twentieths, minus 121 twentieths. That's negative 5 times x minus 11 tenths, quantity squared, is equal to negative 161 over 20. Check me. So that means our vertex is 11 tenths, comma, 161 over 20. That's our vertex. Now we'll go over here and solve. So negative 5 times x minus 11 over 10 quantity squared is equal to negative 161 over 20. How do we get rid of multiplying by negative 5? Divide by negative 5, Hubert. That's right, class. So divide by negative 5. So what do you do when you divide by a fraction? Multiply by the reciprocal. And that's going to give us x minus 11 over 10, quantity squared, is equal to positive 161 over what? 100. Take the square root of both sides. X minus 11 tenths is equal to the square root of 161 over 10. Now, square root of 161, I remember that 15 squared is what? 225, so that's too high. 14 is 196. So 14 is equal to 196. 13 is equal to what? 169. Should you know those? Yes. All college students should know their perfect squares up to 15. Okay? So in the middle is 13 and a half. And what's the difference between 170 and 196? 26 or 27. Half of 26 is 13. So 13 is 183. Y'all check me, make sure that's... So 183, so we got to go... So 169 is too much. I'm sorry. I went too far. The 12 is what? 144? My bad. 12.5 is equal to, what's the difference between 144, what is it, 25? Yeah, 25, half of 25 is 12. So 12 plus 144 is 156. Everybody with me? So what's between 156 and 169? Half of 12 is what? 6. So that would be 162. 162 is equal to 12.75. So I think it's around 12.7. X minus 11 over 10 is equal to positive or negative. Somebody check me. What'd I say? 12.7? Is that what I said? Somebody check me on your calculator. Those of you on the calculator drill team. X is equal to positive or negative 12.7 plus 11 over 10. Now what's 12.7 plus 11? 23.7. Somebody help me out.
That's right.
So 23.7 divided by 10 is 2.37. It's a miracle. And then negative 12.7 plus 11 is negative 1.7. Somebody check me on that. Negative 1.7. Okay, so that's 0.17, negative 0.17. All right, somebody check my math that's on the calculator drill team. And tell me if I got them close. Pendleton, are y'all checking, or are y'all just looking and just not participating? What are y'all doing? I'm trying to get y'all to interact with me, so at least say something. They hate me. That's what it is. They hate me. I don't hold grudges, Pendleton. I don't hate you.
They're both right.
Of course they are. All right, now, graph it. So I'm gonna make it small. So, of course, it's gonna do that. I just don't understand. This thing has no pattern whatsoever.
I think it's operator error.
It's what?
Operator error.
I'm sorry. Did you say something? I can't hear you. That's still not getting everything. Oh well.
Chop on, Jay. Chop on.
Can we backtrack to them little blank
Forget it.
spots right there?
Forget it. I'm not even gonna try it. It's like working with. I'll try it one more time. Okay.
You can do it.
Makes sense now.
Damn Ukrainians. Oh my gosh, the YouTube police is gonna get me.
It's the 8.
Yeah, they're gonna demonetize you. You're not gonna get any money from this video.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna get any money. I've only got 11 subscribers. You think people wanna learn math? If you learn math, that's raising the bar. People don't wanna raise the bar. Bernie will take care of them the rest of their lives.
How many subscribers do you need to make money on YouTube?
Like a 5 million. Okay,
How much money
so
do you make me?
here we go.
6 million.
There we go. We got negative 0.17, 2.37, a y-intercept of 2, and I'm looking for the vertex. 11 over 10 is 1 and 1/10, 1.1. And then 161 over 20, 160 over 20 is what, 8? So that's going to be 8. So it's going to be way up here. Golly, why is it so skinny? Because
Because it's squared.
Because of the 5. Why is it opening downward?
Because it's negative.
Because of the negative, exactly. I'm not going to do all the domain and range. You should be able to do that by now. We've only done, how many questions are in? How many of these have we done so far? About 7? After about 7, y'all should be able to do all that stuff. All right, now I'm going to raise it up a notch. I'm going to give you the same problem, except this time I'm going to change one sign. Everybody with me?
Change one.
So,
On.
well, I'm going to give you another problem because I want you to, let's go with, I'm going to be real simple, okay? Negative x squared plus 2x plus 18 is equal to 0. No, make that a minus 18.
Uh-oh.
Minus 18.
Ordeal.
I'm writing with a pen here.
Let me ask you a question. What type of person comes to a math class and writes in a pen?
A Democrat.
Kind
I
that
do,
end up
so I
on live
don't know.
PD. All right.
I don't make too many mistakes. So I
Yeah.
don't really need an eraser.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. You're 18 years old, aren't you?
Hey, I'm like 22.
Okay, well, that fits because men don't get unstupid till they're about 35, so you got a ways to go. Plus 2x plus blank is equal to 18 plus blank. Although we still have, I still got a bunch of friends that are 53 and still cruise them all, so. But those are the ones that I told you about. They have to have toys. And people, men that have to have toys, women, Pendleton, y'all are full of women up there. Run. Run like hell. That's future domestic violence right there. Half of 2 is what? 1. 1 squared is? Hubert, this can't be a 6. Yeah, it can. Factor out a negative. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't factor out a negative. My bad. I suck. Factor out a negative. I just did that on purpose.
Negative.
So negative 1 here. That's going to be x squared minus 2x plus blank is equal to 18 plus negative 1 times blank. I'm dropping the colors too, okay? I hope y'all can understand it without the color and animation. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Negative 1, x minus 1, quantity squared. Is it okay if I say color? Is that word okay?
No.
Is it okay if I say color? Color's not a bad word, is it? All right. X minus 1 to the second power is equal to what? 17.
Oh my god.
So what is the vertex? 1 comma negative 17. So go ahead and finish it. So what's the x-intercept, Pendleton? I didn't hear you. I heard bro.
I heard so.
I heard bro. Is that the way y'all communicate, Pendleton? Y'all mumble? Is that
Yeah.
it? Whoa.
Oh my god.
I'm done talking. I'm done talking.
Actually, Dr. Harden, I tell you about Dr. Harden at Clemson. His little man about this tall. He taught
he was
calculus. He's about 107. They got a
He
plaque
was there.
down on the bottom of Martin Hall in his office. His office was like a little closet. And he grunted all the time. That means you know how to do this. And you had to actually decipher his grunts. He's about this tall, weighed about 97 pounds.
Sounds like a janitor.
Oh.
Was he
I
there when
swear,
calculus?
if he was pushing a bucket, you would think he was the janitor at Clemson. I mean, honestly. But if you go down the bottom of Martin Hall, 0111, I think, there's a little plaque with his name and his. He was like the department head for the mathematics department, like for 400 years.
Did you like him?
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was my advisor. So maybe y'all are starting something, Pendleton. Maybe that's kind of like the new age, you know. Instead of communicating, you just grunt.
The caveman did.
We're bringing the cavemen in the 80s back.
Oh, it's been here. All you got to do is look at me in 18 to 35.
That's why he's growing out his hair. Old.
Thought about getting like blonde tips at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's what you need, man. You get you a big pack of Marlboro Reds and roll it up in your sleeve.
Well, my neighbor has a 68 Camaro.
There you go.
So I'm going to put on some jorts, hold my shotgun and a 2-liter Mountain Dew and take a pic.
Don't forget the Marlboro Reds, though.
Well, I don't want to start promoting smoking,
Okay.
you know. I'm trying to set an example to the kids.
Okay, yeah.
Oh God.
I'm a good family man.
Another indicator, ladies, to those of you at Pendleton, if a guy watches Sports Center 24 hours a day, run like hell.
Ain't
Run
nothing
away.
wrong.
Hey, what's wrong with Sports Center?
Hey,
24 hours a day.
It ain't Fox.
Oh, it's 24 hours. Never mind. Okay.
If you can tell what athletes when they go to the bathroom and what they eat for lunch, you've got a problem. Divide by -1. What happens?
Taco Tuesdays. That's the problem.
What? Somebody tell me what happens here. I'm asking y'all.
Then 2 -1s cancel out.
Somebody tell me what's significant about this step.
No say.
Your square rooting is a negative, right?
Say again. You can't take the what?
You're about to square root a negative number.
And what's wrong with that?
Ooh, then you get an I.
You get an I next to it.
There you go. That's the thing about this. That's called the discriminant. You're going to see the discriminant. The discriminant is a 25-cent word for the Radican. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Here is the discriminant. Now, because it's so negative, it just means one of 3 things. That's called the discriminant. Write that down. And yes, it's spelled like it sounds. Unless you can't spell. Jay, can you spell it?
I think so.
Discriminant. Discriminant means one of 3 things. There they are. So you need to write it down in case you're asked this on a test, which you will be. If it's a positive number, that means 2 x-intercepts. Now, the 25-cent word for that is 2 real solutions. Okay, that's the 25-cent word for it. If you have the square root of a negative, what does that mean? No x-intercepts. Or, hold your pinky up, no real solutions. What if you have 0? 1 x-intercept. That means it's sitting on top of the x-axis or below the x-axis, or right on the x-axis. That means you have 1 x-intercept, which means 1 what? Real solution. You need to write this down, and you need to remember it, because you're going to see it on my test. You're going to see it on standardized test. It's called the discriminant. The discriminant is a 25-cent word for the Radican. Radican is the number under the radical. Discriminant means that it tells you what's happening in terms of the x what? X-axis. Does everybody understand that?
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, one person. I appreciate it. Penalty, can I get a grunt from y'all? Do you understand it? Okay? There, thank you. Appreciate it. Now, finish it. Well, we don't have any x-intercepts. Finish it. Write it in terms of I.
When you put the I next to the radical.
Yeah, we break it up, because what is I? I is equal to the square root of -1. I squared is equal to -1. Is that important? Very important. So I think I would highlight probably this for the one person that highlights things.
Now, is that I always lowercase?
Yes. When you get to physics, it's going to be called J.
Great.
Because I is the unit vector. So they're going to be calling it J when you get further on up.
That's right.
For those that, for those 2 or 3 people, it's going to be in Calc 2 later on. I'm sorry, not in this class. This is business. I'm sorry. You're not going to have to worry about J. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to erase this. And we're going to finish the problem in terms of I. So x minus 1 is equal to the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 17. X minus 1 is equal to I times the square root of 17, and x is equal to 1 plus or minus I times the square root of 17. Draw it. What is my y-intercept? Negative 18. What is my vertex? 1 and negative what?
7.
And which way is my parabola going?
Down.
So it has no x-intercepts. And you feel good about yourself.
Would that be like a no solution?
No, just no real solution. This says right here, no real solution, which means no what? X-intercept.
Right.
So that means that you still have a function. And the domain is all real numbers. The range is negative infinity to negative 17. It's increasing from negative infinity to 1 and decreasing from 1 to what? So you still have everything, you just don't have what? X-intercepts. Which you're not going to deal a lot with this in business, because what quadrant do you deal with in business?
1.
Why? Why do you deal with quadrant 1, Jake?
That's all positive.
Because that's all positive, and if you're in business and you deal with the other ones, you suck as a businessman.
Go.
There are no dumb businessmen, especially if they're successful. So there you go. All right, let's bump it up. Now we're going to bump it up to where half of y'all will quit.
What was the difficulty of that last problem?
That was a 6 maybe, because it has a negative as an answer. So now we're doing 7 and 8. Negative 1/2 x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now in this case, we're factoring out not a positive, not a negative, well negative, but not a positive, but also not a whole what? Number. So half of you should what on this one?
Quit.
I'll take one for the team and do that.
So negative 1/2. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta rewrite it. Let me rewrite it and move C. I like to be consistent. Negative 1/2 x squared minus 4x plus blank is equal to negative 3 plus blank. Factor out a 1/2, that means I'm dividing. So that means negative 1/2 comes out. Negative 1/2 multiplied by this blank. That leaves you with x squared plus, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say 4 divided by 1/2, which means multiplied by 2 is what? 8x plus blank is equal to negative 3 plus, all right, and I'm going to let you finish it now that I've done that part. Now the next one, you're going to have 2 fractions. You're going to have a 3 in place of that 4. So what does that cause? It causes you to have another fraction. What do you think, Pendleton? There you go. What's half of 8?
4.
4 squared?
16.
Negative 1/2 times x plus 4 quantity squared is equal to, what's negative 3 plus a negative 32? Negative 35? Somebody check me.
Ain't negative 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did it 2 times. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Y'all don't have any problem communicating me when I'm wrong. See, something negative, they hate me. That's what it is. They hate me. Something
Easily.
negative, oh. So,
Well,
that'd be
you're the
negative 8,
professional
be
here.
negative 11. What'd you say?
you're the professional here, so whenever we
Y'all
prove
hate
you
me.
wrong, gets us fired up.
That's all right.
Oh, dang.
I'm gonna just go buy me a boat, a motorcycle, and take pictures of it on Facebook and make myself feel better. All right, so I'm going to divide here. What's my vertex? My vertex is negative 4 and what? 11. And now I'm going to finish by multiplying through by 2 or negative 2. And that's going to give me x plus 4 quantity squared is equal to, what's negative 11 times negative 2?
20.
22.
Now here you might have thought you wasn't going to have x-intercepts, but you are because you had to divide by negative, and that makes this positive. So the square root of both sides, x plus 4, is equal to positive or negative. Well, the square root of 25 is 5, so I'm going to say it's 4.8. Somebody tell me what the square root of 22 is. 4.7, okay? So x is equal to positive or negative 4.7 minus 4, which gives you a 0.7 and a what? Negative 8.7. So let's draw it. Y-intercept of 3, vertex of negative 4, positive 11. Negative 8.7 and 0.7. Now it's going to be more wide because of the 1/2. But
Negative 0.7.
so let's change this.
Negative 0.7.
I'm going to change this number up here to a 3.
Find out.
Change that to a 3. Or no, let's change it to a 1/4. There you go. Let's just go ahead and bump it up to a 9.
Already bumped stuff.
And therefore get rid of another quarter of the class.
Yep.
I need to backtrack right quick.
You need to
Where did
backtrack.
Where did that negative 11 come from?
Negative 11.
Yeah, what's
Okay,
that?
what's half of 16?
Minus 3. Oh, wait.
What's half of 16?
8?
What's negative 8 plus negative 3?
Negative 11?
Ding! You feel good about yourself?
I do now.
Good. I hope the girls feel good about themselves so they won't have to put too much makeup on. Be Oompa Loompa, orange face and a white neck. Guys, orange face and a white neck, run. Run, run. Oh, that girl will take a bat to your car. You with me, Pendleton?
You always take a girl swimming on the first date.
Yep,
So you know what
you
you
got
get
that
into.
right. If the water turns, what do you call that stuff, rouge? If it turns that the color of their face, you need to run while they're in the pool. Just run.
Run to your car.
Oh my god.
Pendleton, you're not even acknowledging what I said, guys. Nothing.
You said
Orange face, white neck, bat, car, we got it.
Swimming?
Okay. Okay, good. Write that down.
Write that down.
Whoever said that, that was hilarious. Orange face, white decks, bat. We got it. All right. So here we go.
Sorry, that was probably racist.
What? What was racist?
I said, sorry, that might have been racist.
Yeah, it probably was. All right. YouTube will get you. So here we go. We're going to factor out a negative 1/2. Well, we've got to rewrite it first. Negative 1/2 x squared minus 1/4 x plus blank is equal to negative 3 plus blank. Okay, so now is where we want to quit. Because we're going to have to use that 6th grade math. We got to divide 1/4 by 2, or 1/2. So I'm going to divide by 1/2 here. I'm just going to put negative 1/2. I'm going to put a negative 1/2 right there. I'm putting in a step right here to kind of
Help us out.
help you out because some of y'all have already quit.
Daggum.
Yep, negative 1/2. I factored that out. So that leaves x squared. And we're going to have a positive term here, but let's go over here and let's do this. 1/4 divided by 1/2. I'm not worried about the signs because I've already taken care of the sign right here. Which means that I'm going to multiply by 2 over 1, which means I'm going to get what? 1/2.
Oh, yes.
Plus blank is equal to negative 3 plus negative 1/2 times blank. All right, now I think y'all can finish it now, but you got to be careful. You're dividing 1/2 by 2 over 1 and then squaring it. I'm going to write it out for you, but I want you to do it so you can feel good about yourself. 1/2 divided by 2 over 1 and square it. What are you using a calculator for?
I'm trying to figure out how you got 1/4 by secant. I saw you did it.
Okay, as long
I was
as
wondering why I got it.
that's why I did it, so you. Yep, 2 or 3 of those Pendleton guys are going, 40 years from now, they're going to write me a letter, which I'm going to be dead by then. But they're going to write me a letter and say, you know, Hubert, you're right. I'm on my 3rd wife, and all of them had too much makeup on, and they all beat the hell out of my truck.
They're lifted up trucks.
Yes.
Only in the front.
With the squat in the back and the smokestacks. You got to have that for more torque.
Dang right. Confederate flag hanging out the back.
Run, women, run. So that's 1/2 multiplied by what? 1/2 squared, which is 1/4 squared, which is what?
And I have a check.
Did y'all get 1/16?
Yes.
Y'all are so good.
Japanese parts.
Are you tracking?
But
Wait a minute, did I hear somebody at Pendleton talk? Were y'all talking? Will y'all share, please? Yeah, that's okay. Negative 1/2 x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to, well, this is going to turn into negative 1/18. So what's 18 times 3? 54?
Yeah.
Somebody help me out with 44. What is it? What's 16 times 3?
48.
48. Thank you. So
Is this
negative
18 times
48 sixteenths minus 1/16.
Negative 49, 60.
Say,
So negative 1/2
perfect.
times x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to negative 49 over what? Oh my gosh, there's no way I could get that to come out better. Oh, shoot, it's not, because of the 2 term. I suck. All right, so the vertex is -1/4, comma, +49/16. That's our vertex. And let's finish it. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. So that's going to be x plus 1/4 quantity squared. And I'll just put in magenta, put a -2 here and a -2 here because I'm getting rid of the 1/2. So that's going to give us 2 times 49 is 98. Somebody help me out there. 98 over 16. Somebody verify that for me.
Yep, should be 9.
Now, is 98 divisible by 16? I don't think it is. No, I don't.
It can be reduced though, can it?
What?
It can be reduced.
No, I don't want to reduce because I can take the square root of 16. I just want to know if 98 is divisible by 16 because it'll give us a whole number, but I don't think it is. So, take the square root of both sides. And the reason you don't want to reduce, well, you could take the square root of 4, but but I don't know if it will. But 16 is a perfect square, so you want to leave it. So x plus 1/4 is equal to positive or negative. I wonder if that's 9.9 or 9.8. What's the square root of 98? I'm going to say 9.8. Maybe 9.9.
Yeah, 9.9.
9.9?
But it is 9.8.
Okay, that's fine. That's 9.9 over 4. And x is equal to positive or negative 9.8 minus 1 over 4. 9.8 minus 1 is 8.8. 8.8, oh my gosh, that's some heavy math there. 2.2. And negative 10.8 over 4 is going to be negative 2, let's see, 10.8, 28, 7. Somebody check my math there. I don't know if I got that one right or not. Draw it up. Y'all check my math while you're finishing. Pendleton, check my math for me. I don't know. It's hard for me to read Pendleton. I see 3 or 4 actually working, and then I see 2 or 3 that are sitting like, what the hell did we just do?
There's one dude mumbling in the corner.
Yeah, probably 1 or 2 months. Yeah, but I can't, since they don't communicate, I can't tell if they understand it or not, so. Not a damn thing, but you still sit there.
Yeah,
How about the ladies at the back? Pendleton, ladies at the back. I feel like you're ladies, so you're very strong, so you can talk to me. How about y'all? Do y'all understand? I'll just take 1 for one side of the room and 1 for the other. You good on this one?
Yes.
Okay. I'm taking your word for it because the rest of the class can't talk.
Yeah, I'm usually the only one that ever talks.
What?
It's not true. That's pretty true. You just go, okay. That doesn't count.
I'll take a grunt or a mumble from Pendleton. I really will. Because for some reason they hate me, and that really affects me.
Look, if you keep saying that, I swear I'm putting it on the next test, whatever it says. Because
I
he
don't
hates
care.
me. And then I'm going to email you about 38 times and say,
Yeah, there you go.
right, I think this is right.
So, 2.2 is right there. Negative 2.7 over there. We got a y-intercept of +3. That's right there. And a vertex of -1/4 and 49 over 16, well, 45 over 15 is 3, so that's going to be around 3 point something. So there it is. Now let's change number 10. Let's change this number to 2/3. And with that, you have completing the square.
I'm quitting.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. So much for self-improvement and raising the bar. Because Bernie will take care of us all.
And Bernie will take care of me, so I don't have to.
You don't have to raise the bar. Make bad decisions. Get you a degree in underwater firefighting or parks and recreation. Make bad decisions. Because you can make bad decisions knowing that Bernie will take care of you.
Isn't that like the worst?
It's not the worst major. It could be worse. But, you know, if you want to make $17,000, $18,000 a year, then go ahead and manage Holiday Inn Express.
Degree. I'm going to the ABC program.
You know, they made that little.
What?
I didn't know they made that little at Holiday Inn
I'm
Express.
just being facetious. They probably make a good wage. I'm just, you know, for a single person.
That's what I'm trying to do.
But you could get female gender studies. You could do that, or global studies.
Make sure the Marriott right here.
Okay, I know you're not looking at math on that laptop, so tell me what you're looking at. Because y'all are actually communicating with each other and laughing, so it must be something really good.
That's funny, you know.
Well, tell us about it, Pendleton. If you're going to laugh about something, what is it? Called communicating.
You pulled it up.
So y'all looking at porn on there, up there, or what?
No joke, there is a
communicate what they're
website called
laughing at.
mathisfun.com.
What?
There is a website called mathisfun.com.
Oh my God.
That's where I play all my games at high school.
Yeah.
That's cool math games. That's cool math games.
And I play
Actually, my
tank.
kids grew up on the mouse, something mouse,
ABC
learning with the mouse or something. Until DSS took them. I don't know what they do now.
Is your kids homeschooled?
Yep, I homeschool them. I homeschool with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a 2x4. Yep.
I'm dead.
No, I do not homeschool my kids. Why?
Because they turn out
Because
to be
I'm 100%, you learn a lot from going to public schools. You learn a whole lot. No, like how to defend yourself and how to fight. No. You learn social skills.
That's right.
You know, communication.
Oh, we can just do that online.
Yeah. Y'all do it so well via texting, 3 pages of text instead of calling somebody.
All
right, here we go.
Apple.
Negative 1/2 x squared minus 1/4 x plus blank is equal to negative 2/3 plus blank. Factor out a 1/2. We do just like we did before. Negative 1/2. We get x squared. What do we get here? Plus 8x. Y'all check me. Or get 1/16. What do we get? 1/16. Can't remember. Help me out.
I got one.
Okay, I'll just redo it.
I got
1/4 divided by 1/2. I think it's 1/8. I can't remember. Multiplied by 2. 1/2. Okay, you're right. 1/2 plus 1/2 x plus blank is equal to negative 2/3 plus negative 1/2 times blank. And now we take the 1/2, and now we do. I think that's where we got the 1/16. So nothing changes there. 1/2 divided by 2 squared is 1/2 multiplied by 1/2 squared, which is 1/16. And now we've got not one or two fractions, we've got a whole equation full of fractions to make us quit. Negative 1/2 times x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to negative 2/3 minus what? 2, 1 over what? 32. So that means I got to change. I got to get a common denominator of 3 and 32, which is probably going to be, I'll just do 3 and 32. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. 3, we're going there one time, 32, and that's 2 to the 5th. So 2 to the 5th, which is 32 times 3 is 96. So negative 1/2 x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to blank 96 minus 1 over 32. I'm at 96. We got to change both of them, sorry. Got to get a common denominator. Again, we're still doing real simple math. Just because you don't know how to do it don't mean it's not simple. 3 into 96, how many times? 32 times. 32 times 2 is what? 64. 32 will go into 96 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. So, negative 1/2 x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to negative 67 over what? Now, what's your vertex? Negative 1/4 and 67 over 96, which is basically 1/3 or 2/3, which is 0.67. So we can graph that.
So do you not want us to reduce the fraction?
You can if you want to, but 67 is prime, isn't it? I don't think you're going to be able to reduce that one. And you can't take the square root of either, so it's not going to help you, I don't think, in this case. Now, would it help you if it was 5 over 16? Yes. Or 5 over, or 10 over 32? Yes. Because 10 over 32 reduces down to 5 over what? 16, which gives you a perfect square. So what are you thinking about all during this part? You're thinking about this guy. So if you want to if you want to take the square root of 32, that's fine. But if you reduce it and get a perfect square, then reduce it. If it doesn't reduce down to a perfect square, then just leave it what? As it is. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for answering that. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to divide by negative 1/2. And what do you do when you divide by negative 1/2? You multiply by negative what? 2 over 1. So that's x plus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to, well, that 2 will take out that negative, that 96. What, 48? Somebody help me out.
That's what I meant.
Okay, 48, that'll be negative 67, positive 67 over 48. Somebody check me. And x, take the square root of both sides. X plus 1/4 is equal to the square root of 67 over the square root of 48. And I did make this up, so it's going to be a cluster. So if you want to change the square root of 67 into 8.2 or 8.3, that's fine, and change 48 into 6.9, and then get a decimal there, you're welcome to. Somebody do that for me. So we get x plus 0.25 is equal to positive or negative. What is the square root of 67 over the, somebody take, what did I say, 8.8. 8.2 divided by,
8.2.
what do you get? Divided by what? 6.9? 8.2 divided by 6.9, what is it?
That is 1.2.
Everybody get something like that? So X is equal to positive or negative $1.20 minus 25 cents. So what's $1.20 minus 25 cents? 95 cents, Hubert. And what's, if you owe $1.20 and you owe 25 cents, you owe $1.45. All right, graph it. I guarantee you there's a lot of people in this classroom who didn't think they could do the problem like this. You can do a problem like this. It's that you wasn't taught. We're told to use an idiot box and not use critical thinking. Think you might want to make it a little bit louder?
Make what louder?
There, how's that? Is that the same thing? Well, see, this one's turned loud up. I don't know. This one's turned like level 10, so I don't know if it makes the same. Y'all probably have me turned off, so you can't hear me, so.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So 1/4, negative 1/4 is negative 0.25, and then, what'd I say that was, 0.67? So 0.67 is gonna be right there. And then we got 0.95, which is right there. And then we got 1.45. Why is it so wide?
It's a half.
Fractions
Because
everywhere.
of the 1/2, yes. Oh, and the y-intercept is 0.67. So 0.67 is right below this one, because that one's a little bit more than 0.67. Now you know how to do completing the square from 0 level, which is the easiest, to level 10, which is the most difficult.
You say
Give us the hardest one you got.
I just did.
Fair enough.
Yeah, when he makes
Now,
that money.
what do you do if you're given decimals? You use the quadratic formula that's been drilled in your head for the last 2 years. Or since
I still
Algebra
don't
1 and Algebra
remember
2. There, see, I knew somebody could sing it. All right, how you feel? Pendleton, tell me how you feel.
Feeling good.
Okay, one person.
Don't use words, son.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. They're going to beat you up if you go out. Those girls up there are going to beat the crap out of you when you go out. Bye. You're not supposed to talk to me.
Come to Easily. You can talk all you want to.
Easily, y'all communicate.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show up to Anderson one day and take the class.
We're all
there.
three going to show up to Anderson one class.
Now, why don't y'all just all come here? We'll eat pizza. I'll buy pizza
Yes,
for
sir.
everybody. Pendleton won't
I'd be
show up.
down.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Because I don't think you'd talk this much crap to my face.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, let's
I don't
get in a
think you would.
fight. Yeah. Caveman,
That's
let's get a
gonna be
fight.
good for me because I have a polygon class in economics and they're in there. So I could just
Is
go to that
that,
class.
is that the indoctrination class?
No,
Where
economics.
she tries to tell y'all how to think?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
stupid.
I thought so.
I thought you learned about the economy or something.
Well,
Not in that class.
you'll have to let him tell y'all about that one. Does any of y'all's classes, Pendleton, have any of that? Where they tell you how to think and what you should know?
Yes.
Call him Mike.
No?
Oh, yeah. Oh, me caveman. Okay, guys. Now, what should you be working on? You should be
Homework.
working on. Hold on. Let me just go here. I know y'all are convulsing. I still got 15 minutes. I might just draw it on out since y'all are packing up.
Oh, let's not. Please.
Okay, well, he quit packing up.
Okay.
Eastland campus is actually closing at 10:45 today.
Yeah, they didn't send you an email?
I don't read my email. That's what y'all use. I don't check
I
my
read my
email.
email.
What's the email?
Yeah.
That's the thing where you get stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't got that. You get hacked doing that stuff.
All right. Is everybody listening so y'all don't ask this question? Y'all should be able to do 3.1 and 3.2 homework without any problems. You might be able to do a little bit of 3.4 and 4.1. So 3.1, 3.2, maybe a little bit of 3.4 and a little bit of 4.1. So when y'all come back next week, we're going to tackle the rest of Unit 2 and get it out of the way. A lot of Unit 2, a lot of that 4 stuff is calculator drills. Make sure you can do the calculator work. All right. Everybody good? Let me take the roll. How many people we got up there, Pendleton?
Everybody's here.
Everybody's here.
17
Okay,
for.
y'all get out of here and have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
Watch out for those Oompa Loompas.
Hey, everywhere.
Hey, Braves, playoff game starts tonight, baby. Go Braves.
Go Braves.
Anybody in Georgia, that means UGA, Atlanta, and Falcons, always, that's a short term for choke.
Not the Braves though.
Who they play?
Yeah, they've choked before. My dad was a Braves fan, and he said many years why they choked. So there's a bunch of years that they've choked. You can't say I'm not right there.
Yeah, I mean,
How do you lose the Super Bowl on a 28-3 lead?
hey, 'cause freaking Tom Brady's the man.
I mean, he's the greatest football player of all time, but still.
Well, I wouldn't say he's the greatest of all time. You got Peyton Manning in there, and you've got John Elway. You've got Joe Namath. I don't know if he's the greatest of all time.
Tom Brady's the guy.
Whoa.
He's just not.
He's
Tom
one
Brady's got
of the
stats to
greatest.
back it up.
He's got stats and rings.
He's one of the greatest.
No, he
Now, if
is-
you want to
he's
talk about the
great.
greatest of all time, we'll say Michael Jordan.
He's the greatest of all time, yes.
Oh, what about
Okay.
LeBron?
LeBron's trash.
I'm talking about the guy that's trying to be like Michael Jordan. You can't be the greatest of all time if you're trying to be like the
I'd
greatest.
put Kobe Bryant above there before I put LeBron James.
Yeah, I would
Why
start.
are you putting a pen up to the camera?
Cut LeBron.
That was Smitty.
Is he on
I'm sorry, that
drugs?
was me. I have
Yeah.
a stupid sense of humor. I'm sorry.
We're going out of the parking lot since we got 10 extra minutes. We're going to smoke
Oh,
it
yeah,
up.
go out there and smoke your doobie.
Hey, that's the dude that usually Scott.
All right,
You know,
y'all
if
be
you got the
good.
mullet-
Jake, come visit us in Anderson.
Hey, we will for sure. One day this
Well, if
semester,
y'all gonna plan it, we gotta have pizza here.
Yeah.
Because, hey, you can invite Pendleton. Pendleton won't show up.
When you want to do this?
Y'all gotta decide.
I'm going to invite the
Hey, let's do it the Thursday
Jake,
before
fall
fall
break.
break.
Pizza's on you, Jake.
No, I'll get the
sir.
pizza. What'd you say, the week what?
Week before fall break.
Okay, y'all coordinate it and y'all come to Anderson.
All right.
All right, y'all be good. See
Fired
y'all.
up about that date.
See y'all.
When's fall break?
I don't know. Look at your academic calendar that I sent you at the beginning of the semester.
Oh,
Fall break's like the third week in October.
See y'all. Have a good weekend.